Good afternoon. Welcome to today's webinar called Enabling the Digital Dairy Supply Chain, Traceability of Milk Components from Farm to Table. This event is brought to you by Dairy Foods and is sponsored by JK Tech. I'm your moderator, Kathy Canning, Editor-in-Chief of Dairy Foods. Thank you for joining us today. Today's presenters joining us from JK Tech are Deep Thuplial, Executive Vice President, and Durgesh Verma, Vice President, SAP and Dairy Center of Excellence. Don't forget to submit your questions. Later in today's program, our presenters will address as many of them as possible. Today's event is also being recorded and archived on dairyfoods.com. And now I'm excited to turn it over to today's presenters.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Deep Thuplial. Firstly, thank you for joining us today. We are thrilled to announce the launch of our dairy industry solution in the North American market, and we call this JK Tech Smart Dairy. And today I'm going to just take you through, I'm sure JK Tech as a brand name may or may not be familiar to all of you. So I wanted to just take a few moments and take you through the JK Group. So let me start by sharing that JK Group is a leading conglomerate with over 140 years of history in diversified industries, $7 billion in revenue and over 100,000 employees worldwide. And JK Tech is the technology arm of the group and has styled itself as a next generation digital services and IT services provider, which enables clients globally to navigate their digital transformation. JK Tech provides niche solutions across modernization and automation platforms to help enterprises grow and thrive in their long-term goals. We were recognized this year as one of the most innovative companies of the year by Golden Bridge Awards, and we have many other awards just like that we have acquired over the years. We have strategic partnerships with SAP, Progress, QAD, Celonis, and Mendix, amongst others, to help our customers develop unique solutions to meet their business goals. Let me quickly talk about the JK Tech Smart Dairy solution, which, let me just run through the animation on the slide so that we have the entire content before I start talking about it. So the JK Tech Smart Dairy, as we call it, has been developed over 15 years of dairy experience and excellence. We have implemented this solution at over 17 dairies globally, helping them in their transformation journey. We have over 200 consultants that provide a deep dairy industry domain knowledge. Today, you will hear the term three-dimension axis multiple times, and it really refers to the fact that we track milk at the component level with components like butterfats, other solids, liquid milk in the ERP system, and thereby producing transparency with the producers and with the milk procurement process. The guiding principles during developing and implementing of the solutions are primarily these. We track product costing at the milk component level in real time. We track gain and loss at each stage of the milk journey, again, real time. We provide a material balancing tool to handle the dynamic bill of material. So if you have challenges at the milk procurement, milk distribution, sales and distribution, and finance and controlling, please reach out to us. We will address any needs that you have in that space. And we will talk about the analytics and reporting dashboards and the bots, the smart dairy bots that we have, which is another reason why you would consider the JK Tech Smart Dairy solution. Moving on, I just wanted to talk about what JK Tech Smart Dairy is. Uh, just one second, I'm sorry. And
Thank you, Deep.
sure, go ahead, Durgesh, you can take over.
Yeah, thank you, Deep. Thanks a lot. So before we jump into understanding, so let's understand what JK Tech Smart Dairy is all about. Okay, it's a solution which was innovated and built through design thinking led approach. It was through a deep dive discussion across the supply chain by dairy experts, dairy thought leaders, by understanding the challenges and by mapping the complete journey of a milk from the farm to the customer, and also an understanding their expectation from the system, then identifying the technology enablement that need to be done there. In the process, we covered multinational companies, co-op dairies, private dairies, as well as dairies which manufacture only products. So we found and we identified that 70 to 75% business are common across all these types of dairies. So we thought we will build it. So that's the JK Tech Dairy all about, which covers the complete supply chain and has 70 to 75 business processes already mapped up with the combination of standard modules, which is provided by any ERP, and our enhanced modules, which is addressing the specific needs and challenges of dairy industry, be it your milk procurement, material balancing, direct store delivery, as well as dairy specific inventory management reports and product costing, of course. And the balance 25% is being developed and delivered during our project implementation that goes forward. So what does this mean to dairy companies? What is there in them for them? So let's understand a traditional approach where the team works, the project team comes in, starts understanding milk and milk products and processes and start building the solution, which takes a longer time. They have to understand, make the blueprint document, and then deliver the whole solution and make the system go live. In JK Tech approach, our team, which has in-depth experience, in and out experience of implementing dairy processes, they come with the solution, deploy the solution, and run your processes on your master data to identify the balance gaps and business processes which are very specific to your business requirements, and then close those gaps on fast track on agile methodology. In turn, this gives straight away 40 to 45% saving on efforts and time, as well as gives the best practices, which has maturity of almost 17 dairies that we have covered during our implementation in last 15 years. So this is our JK Tech Smart Dairy that we have been talking till now. So let's start. How did we do it? So first step when we entered in understanding was, let's understand milk first. That was the challenge that was that we started facing it, and it was a unique discussion, and that was important and crucial. Let me put some facts here and some points which we could understand from various business units. We could understand from a procurement manager. He says, hey guys, I buy milk, but I pay based on the butter, fat, and other solid. Okay. The production manager says, hey, I do my production planning and the core material is my milk, but I have to depend on butter content and other solids as well. And that is the key for me to do a planning, a production planning, bill of material, all that stuff. We said, okay. Then the inventory management comes out and says, hey, my physical inventory is milk in all my silos, but I want to have a sense from the system to understand what is my butter content and other solid content in that silos as well, which gives me a clear dairy specific sense to understand my inventory management. We said, fantastic. So we had a couple of options, and specifically two options. One, to treat this material as three different set of materials, be it your milk components like butter, fat, other solids, and protein, or treat that as one. So during our process, we covered two aspects. What is the people expectation from the system? And their expectation was simple. They said, we wanted to do business as we are doing, but the system should be a supporting system which helps at every transaction that we go forward. So what we did, we built the whole solution on three-dimensional axis, which is called three-dimensional architecture, which takes care of your milk, butter, fat, other solids, and protein as well. So what it means now, as from a solution standpoint, hey, sales and purchase team, you buy your milk as milk, but the system will support you for the payment calculation based on butter, fat, other solids, and also the class of milk in which the milk was utilized. For inventory management, it gives a clear visibility for him to understand, hey, my silo is so much quantity of milk, as well as I have so much quantity of butter fat and so much quantity of other solid in the same silo, which contains the milk. For stock valuation, for the finance team, it is a three-dimensional view where he can look at the stock, understand what is the quantity of stock he's sitting on from a standpoint of milk and milk products, as well as the other components of butter fat and other solids. And product costing, which was the core requirement of a finance team. This is on the real time. It gives a visibility of the product cost, further drill down to your milk component cost, that is butter, fat, and other solids, as well as it gives a clear visibility to your production team to do the bill of material on the real time and with the real metal balancing. So this is the total three-dimensional JK Smart Dairy is all about. So let's look at our solution much more in detail, which across the business unit, be it your milk procurement to your sales. Okay. Milk procurement, when we started understanding milk procurement, it had a different, unique way of handling it across the world. And that was a different set of challenges, and it needed a very focused, advanced, specialized module to address that. So we built a module called milk procurement module, which starts from the moment the milk is procured from the vendor. The vendor may be your farmer, cooperative, or even the third party vendor, and give a complete visibility to your procurement team on the content and the quantity of milk that is being procured and which are in the tanker and which are in transit. And this is on real time where the procurement team can see these reports on real time basis. It also captures in the background the variance, that how much quantity of milk and the milk component I have procured from the farmer or from the cooperative, and how much quantity has been delivered to my plant. And that variance report is on real time. It is created and shoots if there is a major variance that comes during that. And to add it to that, we have an ability to capture and execute a touchless transactions when the tanker comes at the reception dock, by carrying the additional details of the tanker, that what is the tanker utilization, how much quantity of milk it has procured, what was the duration and distance traveled by the tanker, and execute the complete goods receipt of that. And parallelly, there is a milk pricing engine which runs in the background, which calculates the price of the milk for material valuation when the GR happens, based on the quality parameter, based on the components of the milk, and based on the class which will be utilized for that milk. And according to that, it is done, and metal balancing happens, and your calculation of your metal valuation is done. again, the three-dimensional axis plays here. It is not just done at the milk level, but also it is done that, hey, we have done the GR and the quantity of milk is so much of gallon and the cost per gallon is so much of price. Plus the quantity of my butter fat is so much and the cost per butter fat is X. It is the same with other solids as well. The quantity received, other quantity, and as well as the quantity, the price of that particular uh, butter fat. So this is the complete end-to-end which handles the milk from the farm to the customer, giving a visibility and in the background calculating the cost of the milk based at the component level. So we've started moving to the next step. Hey said, what is expected from the manufacturing? So for manufacturing, it had again a different set of challenges for which the standard any ERP was not able to handle it. So we went ahead and developed and delivered a tool called material balancing tool, which helps the floor manager to balance the material balancing during creating the production order or even doing the planning, where your fat content, butter fat content, and other solid contents are balanced automatically by the system and says, hey, this is your dynamic bill of material that need to be used today. And also the system is designed to capture gain and loss at every transaction, at every operation that takes place. Like the moment I started my planning and this is my bill of material and I've issued so much of quantity of milk to the manufacturing process, but what was actually delivered, does it really make sense to me or not? That details are captured at level. And one of the core report which was expected from the system on a daily basis and which all the dairies practices is called production report, which really captures from the start of the day that what was my opening stock in the form of raw, semi-finished and finished goods, and the day-to-day operation that it has taken place in the form of how much further I have procured the milk or raw material, how much I've utilized in the issue and received during my manufacturing process, and how much I've dispatched in the market, and what was my closing stock. What was my opening stock versus what was my closing, and the day activities that has taken place, and in that, how much I have gained or how much I've made loss. The detail, the performance report calculates that in detail and then converts into PDF and shoots an email to the respective people and visible on a daily basis. So this is a daily production report which comes out in details. When we started talking about finance side, finance had a very clear requirement saying that we want an engine to really calculate my price of the milk. And we said, okay, so how do we do that? So we built a pricing engine in the background, which calculates the milk calculates the price of the milk which need to be paid to the farmer. And it calculates various types of calculation, be it the calculation of your class of milk, be it your calculation of your butter fat, other solid, be it your incentives, deduction, and also at some places where my farmer is also my customer, my vendor is also my customer, whether there is a whether there is a penalty on the milk of the quality of milk or there is an incentive. It calculates all that type of calculation and comes out and says, hey guys, this is the price of the milk for this farmer which has given today that quantity of milk. And according to the payment terms, whatever we have for a month or 15 days, it calculates, generates a report, and makes the payment to the farmer online. It also calculates the payment that need to be paid to my third-party vendor, which is my transporter. If you have a transporter in place, we do that transporter calculation, that how many trips he has calculated, how many distance he has traveled, based on the calculation takes place, and even that payment is done online. Then the point came of sales and distribution, which we thought it should be common. It should be simpler. But for some dairies, they had a unique requirement where the delivery was happening to the store. And they said this is something called direct store delivery. So for them, we developed a module called direct store delivery, which takes care of the complete end-to-end, which begins with the route planning of a distribution and loading for that, capturing that when the truck has moved and the handle device captures all the information that need to be captured, delivers from one store to the next store to the next store, captures the tracking of returnable packaging that I have delivered so much of pallets, so much of cases, so much of crates, and captures in the return and next day intent. The system, the direct store delivery, is also designed to capture the specialized incentive and rebate calculation, and all the sales processes are integrated with your third-party portals website to capture next day orders. So this is deep dive solution at high level that we are showing today. Deep, back to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Durgesh. Sorry, I was playing with my mute button. So, I mean, just for everybody's information, Durgesh, who's our SAP and dairy practice leader, is a celebrity within JK Tech. He has been involved in one form or the other in all of those 17 implementations that we talk about. Here are a few fun facts about Durgesh. I think he's equally comfortable with cows as he's with human beings. That's just a joke inside the organization. Plus, his favorite drink is milk. So, he lives and breathes dairy is what I wanted to point out. And this last slide, I'll just open it up and I'll let you read it. But what I really want to say here is JK Tech can help you with your dairy specific ERP implementations, stabilizations, and rollout. We can help you with analytics and data sciences based dashboard and reporting. We can enable automation at all the critical and repetitive processes that you may have in your system. Our 200 plus dairy consultants can help you with your innovation and problem solving needs. And we can help you with your digital transformation. In a sense, talk to us. We know dairy industry, we know supply chain, we know co-ops, and we know milk. We bring global best practices in the dairy industry, and we can solve that business problem you have lived with thinking there was no solution. That's what JK Tech can do for you. That's what JK Tech Smart Dairy can do for you. Thank you. I'm happy to answer any questions, and I'm sure Durgesh is. Kathy, over to you.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you, Deep and Durgesh, for your great presentation. Before our presenters address the questions you've submitted throughout the program, I wanted to remind everyone that we'd love to get your feedback in our webinar survey to help improve our programs. And now for the first question. What is the duration required for an end-to-end implementation?
Okay, I'll take this question, Vanya. So it actually depends on the company size, the processes, the geolocation that they have. But we have seen it depends if it's one plant, one company, and they want to do a rollout implementation, it's going to be around 20 to 24 weeks to make it go live for a base module solution that we're talking about.
Okay. And next question. If my organization is already using an SAP solution, do I have to reinstall the entire solution, or do I have the freedom to pick and choose the modules?
Oh, it's a fantastic question. So generally, these modules are standalone modules, which can be bolt on wherever you require, and it can also be further localized to your specific requirements, because module also needs further customization to meet your specific incentive. If it's sales module, like incentive calculation may be separate, and also this is both flexible as well as bolt on. We don't need to really revamp the whole existing landscape that you have.
Okay, great.
Yep.
Next question. Do you help in discovering the actual business challenges of our industry and provide solutions to address the same?
I can take that, though I hate to take it away from you, Durgesh. Um,
Yep.
yes, I mean, the business challenges of the industry is what we believe we would be very good at addressing. In fact, we may help define the business challenge for you with our experience and obviously provide solutions to address the same.
All right. One more question here. Do you provide solutions only on SAP or other ERP as well?
So the solution that we have is native to SAP. However, we have adapted this across other ERPs as well. So if you have a specific ERP implementation, we'd be happy to have that discussion and be transparent with you on what we can do in your platform.
Great. Thank you. And that's all the questions we have for today. Please join me in thanking Deep and Durgesh for their presentations, as well as our sponsor, JK Tech. If you have any additional...
Could I just, Kathy, I apologize. Could we just do the polling or do we want to do it at the end?
Sure, you can do the polling now and that'd
Sure.
be great.
Yep.
So, if you guys could just quickly respond to a few of the polling questions, it would really help us. I'll leave every polling question up for 20 seconds and then move to the next slide. Okay. Which business unit needs an attention for digital transformation in your organization?
Oh,
Oh, that's a dead heat between quality management, sales distribution, and manual process to automation. Perfect. Do you have a real-time visibility on your milk component costing? All right. We have 67% saying yes, they do. And I think that's pretty much it, Kathy. Thank you.
Okay, great. And I wanted to remind everyone, if you do have additional questions or comments, please click the email button on the console. And please remember to visit dairyfoods.com for the archive of this presentation, as well as for information about our other upcoming events. We do appreciate your time and hope you have found this webinar to be a valuable experience.